Hi everyone, welcome to this class. As part of this class, let's see more things about static variables. So in the previous two classes, we have seen what is static variables, how we can make use of it, what happens when we are running static variables, how it is loaded, all those things we have seen. So we have seen that static variables are called as global variables or class variables or universal variables. Static variables always keeps only one copy. So whichever method, it modifies the static variables values, those will be affected, correct? So without wasting much time, let's directly get into class. So what we will do is we are going to create new class. Let's go with new classes. Vandana. So what I do here is I am planning to declare one variable. Consider static int count, correct, equal to 100. This is my static variable, right? What is this? This is my static variable. Variable name is count, correct? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to print this variable system.out.println. Okay, I can say it is a static variable or I can say it is a global variable, right? So let me print this is a static variable x. What is the x value? Static variable count, right? Count. So let's save this program. I have declared only one class, only one static variable, that is static variable x. Go to the location and what you do, you can compile the program javac filename.java. Compilation is success. Run the program java file name, correct? So you are getting static variable 100, correct? This is a static variable. So what I am trying to do is I am trying to declare one more variable, int count equal to 200. Int count equal to 200. Before declaring this local variable, when I point count, it is pointing static variable. So if I declare local variable, why I am telling this as a local variable? Because this is declared inside a method, right? This is declared inside a method, correct? The count which we have seen 200 with the value, that is a local variable because it is declared inside main method, right? The count with the value is 200 is declared inside main method. Let's save this program again. Let's rerun. Before we got 100, only one variable, only static variable, it was there. Now I have one more variable with same name, exactly same name. Let's run and observe what is the output. Again I will compile class name javac filename.java, then again I will go with java file name. See what we are getting? You are getting 200. What it means? 200 is nothing but local variable. If local variable is not there, what is the output? If local variables are not there, what is the output? Let's recompile again. Just check. You are getting static variable value, correct or not? If local variable is not there, you are getting static variable value, right? Are you getting or not? If local variable is not there, what is the value you are getting? you are getting static variable. If local variable is there, correct? Here one local variable with the value as 200. If local variable is not there, if I refer count, it is not printing static value. It prints 200. 200 is nothing but local variable. What you are trying to understand is preference. Priority goes to local variable first. So compiler compiles successfully. When comes into JVM tries to see, is there any local variable? Yes. Then you make use of local variable. Correct. First preference goes to local variable. You are getting my point? First preference goes to local variable. In case local variable is not there, it checks, is there any local variable with the name as count? No. Then it will check, is there any static variable with the name as count? Yes. Then preference goes to static variable. If this will come into picture when both the variables names are same, correct? When both the variable names are same, correct, then preference goes to local variable. So what is the first point we are seeing? When static variable and local variable, correct, names are same, when names of static variable and local variable are same, correct. If you are trying to use inside a method with variable name, correct, then what happens? Then preference goes to, first preference goes to local variable, correct. Here both static variable and local variable names are same. If names are same and if both the variables are there, while you are trying to use that variable inside a method, first preference goes to local variable. That's why we are getting 200, correct. That's why we are getting 200. Suppose if local variable is not there, then it is straightforward, you already know it. Preference will go to global variable, correct. If I run again, in that case preference goes to global variable, you are getting 100. Clear? Suppose consider this is local variable, right? This is local variable count, but even though there are two variables are there with same name, I want to access static variable. That's okay, count is there, I agree. Okay, if I print like this, I will get count only, right? Local variable only I'll be getting first preference because local variable is there. But I want to access static variable. How I can access static variable? So what we are doing here? Printing or accessing local variable, right? But I want to access static variable. How to access static variable? How to print static variable? It's simple again. We already seen it. If you want to print static variable, then you can use class name dot variable name. That is the best way of accessing static members. Either static variable or static method you can access with class name dot variable name. How I can access? If I print count, simply again it will print local value only, right? So what I will do, class name I will copy, class name dot, I will paste it, class name dot variable name. Now what will happen? It will print First one will print local variable value, you will be getting 200. Second one you will be getting this, you are trying to access static variable 100. Let's run this program. Let's rerun the program. See what you are doing. Local variable, how you are accessing? You are accessing directly. So in that case, you are getting 200. How you are accessing static variable? By using class name dot variable name. Here you are getting static variable. Second one you are getting 100. Correct? This is how you can access both static variable and local variable. Correct? Here one interesting thing is static variable and local variable name can be same. Static variable and the local variable name can be same. Correct? So if names are same, then first priority goes to local variable. Correct? Suppose let's remove the static variable. Okay, I'm removing the static variable. Even you can remove this also. Suppose if I declare two local variable, consider even I'm going for some other data type, long count with same name. Okay, I'm not modifying anything. I'm trying to access with same name. Correct? Is this possible? Inside method, can we declare with the same name with two variables? Not possible, because it is a duplicate variable, right? So if you run this, if you compile this program, you will get duplicate error. Compile time error you will get. Javac file name.java, you will be getting, see here clearly it says variable count is already defined in main method. Again you are trying to declare one more method. That is not possible. This is duplicate variable, right? Inside method you cannot declare more than one variable with same name, right? Duplicate, it will throw compile time error. But whereas you can go with one static variable and you can go with one local variable. In this case, you see here we declared one static variable count and we are declaring local variable. This is possible. Correct? This is possible. Now what I do, let's go with one more program. Let's go with new class. Consider I'm going the name at John. What I'm trying to do, again I'm going to declare one variable count. Okay, nothing is there. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to access that static variable. We have declared one variable count as static variable. I'm trying to print the static variable. What is the value here? Count value will be, what we will get if we run, count value will be loaded with the default value. Int default value is 0. We already seen this program, right? So what you do, you can save that class john.java. Now you can recompile the class javac john.java run. Then you can one error. What is the error? I missed here semicolon. Okay, you can correct the error. Again recompile the class. Okay, compilation is success. Now run the class java. So you are getting by default it is loaded with 0. If I want to modify, what I can do, I can say directly I can modify count equal to 100. Correct? Again I can print the value, right? Correct? Again you can recompile the class. You can run it. See, beginning it is loaded with 0. Then you are modifying, it is static global variable. Again what I can do, either I can access directly or I can access using class name dot variable name. Any way is possible. It is a static variable. Either I can access directly or I can access using class name, correct? Either I can access directly or class name. Either you can access directly or you can access using class name. Here I am reinitializing 200 using class name dot variable name, and I am trying to access directly. Both are possible. If you rerun, what you will be getting it? Recompile it. So run it again. Okay. Sorry, I didn't save it. Let me recompile again. Let's run it. See here. Beginning the value is 0, default value. Then you are initialized with 100. That's why you are getting 100. Again you are modified to 200. That's why we are getting 200. Correct? Just we are experimenting what are the ways we can access static global variables, right? Either you can access directly or you can access by using class name, correct? Now let's go with one more class. So class, let's go with Matthew. Okay, what I'm trying to do is, consider I'm trying to declare a variable. Okay, static int x equal to 100. What I'm going to do, static int y equal to x. Okay, then what I do is I'm just printing both the values. So what will happen here? You might be knowing the output, right? I'm just printing x equal to plus x. Then I am trying to print y equal to y. So what will happen here? Let's save this class Matthew.java, correct? So what will happen here? So you are trying to play it, right? So consider, let's go with this. Okay, so what happens here? So beginning x value and y value. Let's see what are the values we are getting it. X value and y value, correct? So beginning, what happens? We know that whenever static variables are loaded, it loads with default value. Both x and y will be loaded with the default value 0. Both are integer type, right? Both will be loaded with 0. Correct. Once loaded with 0, what happens? Initialization will happen. X will be reinitialized with 100. Correct. What about y? Y you are initializing with x. Y you are initializing with x. Y you are initializing with x. What x value? Y? What is the x value now? X value is 100. Same value. What you are trying to do? You are trying to reinitialize. You are trying to reinitialize. 0 is deleted. So it is initializing x value. X value is nothing but 100. Same 100 will be initialized. Correct? Same 100 will be initialized. If I save this class, if I run it, javac class name dot java, compilation is success. Let's run java
class name. See, both x and y is having 100, correct? So beginning, while it started, it loaded with default value 0 and y also 0, x also 0. Then reinitialization is happening from top to bottom. So x is loaded with 100. Same y you are trying to load. Whatever x is having, same value is stored in y. So both and x, both x and y both are having 100 only, correct? Both x and y both are having 100 only. What I do, I will modify same program. Okay, I will modify same program. I say that x is having 100, y is having 200. So let's go with one more variable z. Z is having x plus y, correct? Just we are trying to experiment all the ways of how we can use static variables. We are just experimenting all the ways. So what will happen here? I am trying to print x, y, z. What will happen here? This is straightforward, right? So while you are running, what happens? First x will be loaded with 0, y will be loaded with 0, and z also will be loaded with 0. First it will load the default values, correct? Then once loaded, correct, x will be 0, y will be 0, z will be 0. Once it is loaded, then what's happening? Initialization is happening from top to bottom. X is initialized with 100, correct? Y is initialized with 200. Z is initialized is simple. Z value is x plus y. What is x plus y? 100 plus 200. That is 300. Expression is evaluated first. So finally we are trying to print x, y, z. Let's run again same class. See, here we are getting 1 minute. So what's happening? X, Y, Z, right? Yes. But y x is coming 0. Am I running the correct program? No, I'm running wrong program. Okay. Let's run Matthew. The class name is Matthew. Let's run Java C Matthew.java. Okay. Let's run Java Matthew. Correct. So the x value is 100, y value is 200, z value is 300. Correct. Three values we are trying to print. What is the x value? X value is 100, y value is 200, z value is sum of x plus y. That's why we are getting it. Okay. So what I do, again we will play with this program only. Okay. For better understanding, continuity, I am just playing like this. Okay. Let's x equal to 100. Let's go with what I am doing. I am doing something like this. Okay, this program we have already seen it, right? What both x and y will be, x will be initialized with 100, same y also will be initialized with 100. If you run this program again, java c file name.java, class name.java, then java class name, you'll be getting both x and y, correct? Is it possible to move this one line up? Can I keep this second line into top? Possible? Can I able to run now? What will happen if I run? It will check y, but what is x? X is 100. X is not declared above, right? It will give compile time error, right? So Java will be running from top to bottom. So in the previous case, there is no problem, right? X you declared 100. Same you are trying to use it. While comes here, it will check what is x. X is declared or not? Yes, x is already declared in the above. Suppose if you go like this is not possible. This is not possible because X is not declared. It will throw compile time error. Let's run this. Java C file not file class name dot Java. See here, illegal forward reference. You are trying to use the reference which declared later. X is declared later, right? The later X reference you are trying to X variable you are trying to use it. So X is not yet declared. That's why it is throwing illegal forward reference. First you need to declare a variable, then only you can use it. You are getting my point? First we can declare a variable, then only we can use it. Without declaration, directly we cannot use it. Even inside method or static variable, anything, first you need to declare it. Let's change this program again. Let's go to back. So before it was like this. In this case, there is no illegal forward because X is declared. While we are using X is already declared and initialized. So there won't be any issue. Compilation will be success. So can I declare one more variable, something like this? Static. Okay, short X equal to 200. Possible? Again, what you are trying to do? You are trying to declare two static variables with the same name. You are trying to declare two static variables with the same name. So this is not possible. It will throw compile time error. Duplicates variables, right? It will throw compile time error. See here. X is already defined in the class Matthew. You are getting clearly. What is the compile time error? It says X is already defined. Correct. Because duplicates variables are not allowed in Java. Either it is local variable or global variable. Correct. Now we'll go with one more program. Listen this program carefully. So consider I'm going with one more class called Daniel. Okay. Listen this program very carefully. Public static void main. So we are going with one main method. So I am having one more method called process method. We already seen this, right? Public static, one more method, one more static method. Return type is int. I am just calling process method. I am just printing. Okay. Listen carefully. System.out.println. I am just printing. This is a process method, right? Process method, correct? And what I am doing, I am returning some value. I am returning 100. Compilation will be success because it should return one value. It is integer type. What I am trying to do here, I am just printing this is a main method, correct? So when I run this class, what will happen? Let's save this class name as Daniel.java. If I run this class, what will happen? Let's compile it. Compilation is success. Let's run it. Java class name. We already know that by default JVM will call main method, correct? By default JVM will call main method. Okay, that's why we are getting this is a main method, correct? That's why we are getting this is a main method. Observe the output. That's why we are getting this is a main method. Now I am going to do something like this. Listen quite carefully. This is quite important. I am just declaring static int count equal to process. I am trying to call process method. So let's rerun this program, observe the output. Rerun the program, observe the output. Compilation is success. Let's run. See, we are getting something different. we only should get first line, right? This is a main method, but process method also getting executed. Let's see why process method is called. First, what happens while we are running this program? JVM loads Daniel class, right, into runtime environment, correct? So then count will be, this is a static variable. We already seen first static variables will be loaded, right? Count will be loaded with default values. What is the default value of count? Default value of count is 0, correct? Count will be loaded with 0. Yes, then all the methods are loaded. Then reinitialization will happen from top to bottom, right? Reinitialization will happen top to bottom. That is what we have seen in static global variable. First, it will be loaded with the default values. Second one is reinitialization will be happening from top to bottom. Here reinitialization, here while reinitialization is happening, you are calling a method. While reinitialization is happening, the second step, suppose if you keep something like this, here no problem, right? It will be reinitialized with 100. Blindly it will reinitialize with 100. So if you run, what will be the output now? If you run, what will be the output? Simply you will be getting, this is a main method, because only main method will be called by JVM. But if it is like this, here in reinitialization point, you are calling a process method. Main method will not come into picture. Main method will be executed last only by JVM. That's okay. But here you are only calling. You are intentionally making one call to process method. So what will happen? Flow will go to process method. Process method will be executed completely. Whatever statements are there inside process method, that will be executed completely. Then what happens? Process method is returning 100. That 100 is stored in count variable. Process method is returning 100. That 100 is stored in count variable, correct? So first process method will run, then main method will run, correct? Let's run this program again. Java C, file name.java, class name.java. Then let's run. That's why you are getting first process method is called. First process method is called. Once process method is executed, once global variables are loaded with 100, then what happens? JVM only calls main method, then main method is getting executed. That's why you are getting first line is a process method, second one is a main method. Okay, let's modify some more things in this program. What I am trying to do, as soon as I access the process method, I am just trying to print count value. I am just trying to print count value. Observe, this is not that much tough. You can easily understand it. Okay. Again, I am trying to print inside main method also count value. What will happen? First, while you are running, count will be loaded with 0, right? Count will be loaded with 0, right? Then reinitialization will happen. While reinitialization is happening, process method will be called. Process method is printing, this is a process method. Then you are trying to access count. What is count value now? Count value is loaded with 0. Count value is loaded with 0, correct? That's why you are getting output as first count is 0. Observe, that's why you are getting output as count is 0, because while you are printing the statement, what is the current count value? Count value is loaded with 0. That's why you are getting count value is 0. Then this method is returning 100. 100 is stored in count variable. After executing process method is returning 100. That same 100 is stored in count variable. Reinitialization is happened, right? Count value is reinitialized with 100. process method is throwing 100, it is returning 100, same 100 is stored in count variable now. Now once everything is done, JVM calls main method. It is printing, this is a main method, and it is printing count value. What is count value now? Now count value is 100, correct? Now count value is 100. That's why you are getting, this is a main method, and the count value you are trying to print 100. You can go through the program again. First process method will be called, we are only calling because of reinitialization. It's print statement, then it is trying to print count. Count value is initialized with 0 by default. It is printing 0, then returning 100. 100 will be stored in count variable. Again JVM calls main method. It is printing statement, then here it is trying to print count. Count value is 100 now. That's why you are getting output like this. Correct? And one more point is, static variable, there is no order is required, you can declare anywhere. Same thing, suppose consider, okay, same class I'm trying to do it. Okay, what I can do, I can directly, if I run this, what will be the output? Count value will be 100, right? Either you can declare top or bottom, any order is fine. Okay, there is no issue at all, any order is fine. You can declare it in any order. But good way of writing program is, in industry standard is always, if you want, you can recompile this program and you can check the output. Okay, you are getting, this is a main method, count value is 100 because you declared count value is 100 below. You can keep anywhere, methods can be any order, static variables can be any order, instance variables also can be any order, but always variable should be declared top. That is the good way of writing the program. That is the industry standard. Okay, let's go with one more program. I'm having two methods. Consider this is process 1. Okay, I am changing the method name as process 1. Okay, again what I do, again I am going with one more method. Listen carefully. Again I am going with one more method called process 2. So I am telling this is a process 2 method. What I am trying to do, first method is returning 100, second method is returning 200. Okay, first method is returning 100, second method is returning 200. What I am trying to do here is, I am trying to do something like this, process 1 plus process 2. What will happen here? What will happen here? Very easy, you need to understand the logic, that's all. Step by step we have seen it in the first class. First count will be loaded with 0, correct? What is the count value? Count value will be loaded with 0 by default when you are running this program. Then what happens? Reinitialization will happen top to bottom. First you are calling process 1 plus process 2. In this case what will happen? First process 1 method will be called. Flow will be going inside process 1. You will be getting, this is a process 1 method, count you will be printing 0 because current count is 0, correct? Then it is returning 100. So what will happen here? Again it is a mathematical expression, right? What is happening here? It is happening, you are doing something like this. Count you are returning 100. 100 will come here, correct? Again what happens? You are calling process 2 method. Process 2 flow will go. Correct, method will be executed, process 2 also will be executed. Let's recompile the program again. Javac file name.java, compilation is success. Let's run Java file name. So while you are calling process 2 also, again you are printing second time, this is a process 2 method. What is the count value currently? Current count value is 0. Current count value is 0. Here also it will print count value is 0, then returns 200. 200 will be stored here. Now count will be expression of 100 plus 200. What is the value? Count will be become 100 plus 200, that is 300. Count value will become 300. Correct. Count value will become 300. Same will be stored inside count method, right? Inside count variable. Now once reinitialization is happened, JVM will call main method. Inside main method you are printing on statement. You are getting count equal to, what is count value currently? Count current value is 300. Just observe the program and observe the output. We are trying to see how the flow goes, how the count variable is getting affected. First, again I am coming very quickly. First count will be loaded with 0. Correct, count will be loaded with 0. Then reinitialization is happening from top to bottom. Process on will be called. Process on, we are printing some statement. See here, process on, we are printing some statement. Then you are trying to print count value. What is count value currently? Current count value is 0. That's why you are getting current count value is 0. Then once this expression is executed, again you are calling process 2. Flow will go into process 2. What output you are getting? This is a process 2 method. Again you are trying to print count. What is count value? Count value is 0 only. That's why you are getting 0. Once everything is done, what happens? So this expression will be evaluated 100 plus 200, that is 300 will be stored here. Correct? 300 will be stored in count variable. 300 will be stored. Now JVM calls main method. Main method prints, this is a main method. Count value is 300. Correct? What is count value? Count value is 300. Correct? Even again, you can keep this statement anywhere. It doesn't matter. You can keep this statement, already I have said you. You can keep it anywhere. Okay. See, I'm keeping in the middle of the method. Just I'm telling in interview, suppose consider if you are getting question like this, they will ask what is the count value. They only print count value here. Consider they are trying to print here, right? Just like this. They are just printing what is the count value. A compile time error, B 100, C 200, D 300. What is the count value here? What is the count value is? It is 300, right? We are finally are printing in main method, right? So like this questions you will be getting in interview. So you no need to worry. Okay. You no need to worry. It can be anywhere. Clear? Let's play with some more things in this program only. Okay. Instead of going to new program, let's play with more things in this program only. I am trying to print. What I am trying to do is I am planning to declare two variables. Okay. I am planning to declare two variables. One is count1, another one is count2. Okay, let's delete this. What I am doing is I am trying to declare two variables. One is count1, second one is count2. Okay, it is possible both are a different name, right? What I am trying to do is I am only calling, consider you are removing process2. Okay, process2 is there but you are not using it. Okay, let it be there. What I am trying to do is I am trying to call process1 method here. I am trying to call process1 method. Correct? Count 2, what I am trying to do is I am initializing with some value. Okay, I am initializing with some value. So what I am trying to do is I am trying to print both count 1 and count 2. All the places I am trying to print both count 1 and count 2. Correct? Count 1 and count 2. I am just trying to return here. Okay, count 2 I am trying to return here. Listen this quite carefully. So consider I have only two methods. Okay. What I am doing is I have declared two variables, count 1 and count 2. So only the order matters. You will understand. It's not that much tough. So what happens here? So what is the first order we have seen? First we have seen static global variables will be loaded with the default values. Static variables will be loaded with default values. This is the first point we have seen, right? Once static variables are loaded with default values, second point what you have seen, then static variables initialization is happening from top to bottom. Correct? For static variables, initialization will happen from top to bottom. This is the point. If you know these 2 points, you can learn, guess the output from top to bottom. Correct? Initialization is happening from top to bottom. So what happens here? First, static variables. How many variables? Count 1 and count 2. Let's go with two variables, count 1 and count 2. Count 1, correct? Count 1 and count 2. Two variables are there. Both will be initialized with 0, 0, right? Count 1 will be 0, count 2 also will be 0, right? That's all. Initialization is done. Default values are loaded. Then what happens? Initialization will be happening from top to bottom. That is the second point. First point loaded with default values. Second point is initialization will happen from top to bottom. What is the initialization value? For count 1, first process 1 method will be called. For count 1, process 1 method will be called. So flow will be going inside process 1. What is the count 1 value? Simple. Count 1 is 0, count 2 also 0, correct? Let's rerun this program. Okay, let's one compile time error, somewhere we need to print. Okay, consider you are printing something. Okay, so compilation is success. Let's run Java class name. So first process method is called, you are printing, this is a process method one. You are trying to print both count 1 and count 2. Count 1 and count 2 both are 0, 0, correct? That's why you are getting count 1 and count 2 both are 0, correct? So up to this statement we are getting it, because count 1 also 0 loaded with 0, count 2 also loaded with 0, correct? That's why you are getting count 1 and count 2 0. Now you are trying to return count 2. Listen this. You are return count 2. What is current count 2 value? Current 2 is 0, right? Current count 2 is 0. Current count 2 is 0. Okay. Same 0 you are returning here. Now count 2, if you see the value, you are returning 0. What you are trying to do blindly, count 2 means here it is, count 2 means 0. You are returning 0. Who called this method? Here it is called. So indirectly you are returning 0, correct? 0 will be stored with count 1, right? 0 will be stored with count 1. 0 will be initialized with count 1. correct? Even though it is loaded, again 0 you are initializing. So count one reinitialization is done. First variable reinitialization is done. Go to second variable top to bottom. Again you are reinitializing count to equal to 100. Again you are reinitializing count to is 100. Correct? So count 2 you are reinitializing with 100. Count 2 you are reinitializing with 100. Correct? So reinitialization is completed. From top to bottom for all the variables, the reinitialization is completed. Count 1 basically it has 0, count 2 is as 100. Once it is done, JVM calls main method. You are coming inside here, you are printing, this is a main method. You are trying to print count 1 and count 2 both. What is count 1 value? Count 1 value is 0. What is count 2 value? Count 2 value is 100. Correct? That's why you are getting this is a main method. Count 1 is 100, count 2 is 200. Clear? In interviews, you may get this kind of questions. What is the output? Correct? So if you know the order, then only you can answer this kind of questions. If you know the order, then only you can answer this kind of questions. Okay. Let's go with one more new class. Class Joseph. So what I'm trying to do is, again I'm going with same name only. So let it be count only. Static int count. Okay, int count. I'm trying to declare one variable, and one more method I'm going for it, public. Okay, consider, it returns one int type, public static int. Let it be process method only. Okay, it is not taking any arguments. That's okay. Again, what I'm trying to do, so my class is like this. Okay, I'm just printing, same way, like this is a process method. Correct? This is a process method, and this guy is a main method. Correct? This is a main method. So what I am trying to do, always keep all the variables in each method, because you will understand what is the value. That's why we are always keeping the variables in all the methods. You are trying to print variables in all the methods. Correct? So I am printing count in both the methods. Okay. Now, let's run this program. It is simple. Joseph.java. Correct? Compile. Let's compile. Java C file name.java. Compilation is success. No one error. What is the error? So what is the error? It says missing return statement. Yes. Int method should return, right? You mentioned return type is int, but you are not returning. That's why it is giving compile time error. Return some value. Let us return 10. Okay. Save it again recompile it. Compilation is success. Okay. If you run, what is the output you will be getting? If you run Java, you will be getting, because no one called process method, count will be loaded with 0. Same you are trying to get it. Correct? Now what I'm going to do is, Okay, listen this program very carefully. I'm going to call process method here. What will happen here? You know the output. First process method will be called. This is a process method because count will be loaded with 0. Process method will be called, correct? Count will be loaded with 0, correct? Then reinitialization will happen. Process method will be called. You will be getting, this is a process method. So let's compile and run Java C, then run it Java. First you are getting, this is a process method and the count value will be 0. It's returning 10. 10 will be stored in count variable. We already seen this program, right? 10 will be stored in count variable. Then JVM calls main method. You are getting, this is a main method. What is the count value here? Count value is 10. That's why you are getting count value. Now we already seen this program. Listen very carefully. Listen very carefully. What I'm going to do, process is a method, static method. Same way main also method, right? So in this case, if you see main method is called by JVM. Here we are getting one statement. This is a main method, count is 10. So who called main method? Main method is called by JVM. First time, only one time called. Who is called? JVM only call this main method. Correct? JVM only called main method. Now what I am doing is inside process method, I am going to call main method. We are calling main method. I'm just passing null because main method is a static method. I can call directly, right? Directly or using class name. That is fine. But it is taking one argument. I should pass some argument, right? I am passing null. Correct? Here inside process method, we are calling main method. It's a static method. That's why I am calling directly. That's why I am calling directly. So, and it is taking one argument. That argument is null. What is the flow will be here? Listen very carefully. Output will be, what will be the output? What will be the output? Flow will go into process method. This is a process method. Count will be 0. You know this. This will be executed first. Correct? If you need, we can note down the output also. Okay. Okay. What I do is let's store that output in on notepad. Okay. First, what you'll be getting? You'll be getting this output, right? Listen this very carefully. Count will be initialized with 0. Then reinitialization is happening. While reinitializing is happening, it is going inside process method. Inside process method, you are trying to print this value. This is a process method. This is your first output, right? Then what you are doing? You are trying to print count. What is count? You are just mentioning like count equal to, what is count value now? Count value is 0. What is count value? Because count value is initialized with 0, right? First time count value is 0, so you'll be getting count value is 0. After executing, what happens? You are calling main method. You are only calling main method. Who is calling? We are calling main method, not JVM. We are calling explicitly. How to call a method? We need to call by method name, and you can pass the argument. Here it is a string argument it takes, right? So in place of passing string, I am passing null. So what happens? Flow will go into main method. Flow will go into main method. It will print, this is a main method. This is the next output you will be getting it. Again you are printing count. What is the count value now? Just refer our diagram. Count value is 0 only. Initial value only it is there, correct? Once it is executed, main method is completely executed. main method is completely executed, then what happens? Once main method completely executed, then flow is coming back here because this is the guy who called. Flow will come back here. It is returning 10. Who is returning 10? Process method is returning 10. So that value will be stored in count variable. Process method is returning 10. That will be stored in count variable. See, 0 is deleted. Correct. It is returning 10. 10 will be stored in count variable now. Correct. Now only two steps are over. What are the two steps? Two steps are over. Static variables are loaded with default values. Second step is static variables initialization is happened, right? Top to bottom initialization is happened. What is that step? JVM calls main method, right? Always we seen JVM will call main method for sure one time. So in this case, once reinitialization is happened, JVM calls main method. Again, we will get one more output. This is a main method. Correct. This is a main method. And what is the count value? Again, we are printing count value. What is the count value now here? Count value is 10. Correct. What is the count value? Count value is 10. Here main method totally calls 2 times. How it is called 2 times? JVM is called finally one time. Before to that, we are only called one more time. Let me come this program again. What is the step? What is the step? First step. There are 3 steps we have seen. First, static variables will be loaded with default values. Second, once default values are loaded, then it will be initialization is top to bottom. Then JVM calls main method. Correct. Let's go again. First, it is loaded with default values. Count is loaded with 0. Count is loaded with 0. Then what happens? Initialization will happen top to bottom. For count, initialization should happen. In the case of initialization, you are calling process method. You are only calling. So flow is going inside process method. It's printing count. What is count value now? It is 0. That's why you are getting output as 0. If you need, even you can run this program. You can verify the output. Okay. So process method you are printing count is 0. Correct. It's done. Then what you are doing? You are only calling main method. You are only calling main method. JVM is not coming to picture because we are in the process of initializing a variable, right? We are only calling main method. You are passing null. So what you are getting? This is a main method. Correct. What you are getting? This is a main method. Okay. Observe the output. So what we are getting? This is a main method. We are calling main method. We are passing null. This is a main method. What is a count value? Count value is 0 only. We are getting count value is 0 only. So 2 steps are over now. Initialization is happened. So then what happens? Once main method executes completely, flow is coming back to process method. Process method returns 10. 10 will be stored in count variable, right? 10 will be stored in count variable. 10 will be stored in count variable, correct? So initialization is completed. Reinitialization is completed. 2 steps are over. Static variables are loaded with the default values. For initialization also completed. Third one is what happens? JVM calls main method. So it will print this is a main method. What is the count value now? Count value is 10. Count value is 10. Correct? Count value is 10. That's why you are getting the output something like this. Clear? Here we are calling main method. Main method called 2 times. Correct? Because we have called 1 time, you know, and what is the second time? Second time who called? Main method called by JVM. Let's play one more thing here only. Let's play one more method. Let's go with process 1 and process 2. Let's change the name as this is process 1 method. Correct? And what we will do, we will change something like this. This is process 2 method. Correct? Process 2 method. Correct? Listen carefully. I'm going to play something more here. I'm going to play something more here. Okay? I'm going to play something more here. Let it be. We no need to change method 1. Let it be method 1. Let it be like that only. But in process 2 method, what I am trying to do is I am trying to initialize some value. Then what we do in process 2 method, I am going to initialize some value. This is also possible, right? What I am doing is I am initializing count equal to 200. Okay, and I am returning count. Possible, right? Correct? So what will happen here? Let's recompile this class. Observe carefully. JavaC file name.java. Yes, we have given semicolon here. Correct error. JavaC file name.java compilation. So we have changed the method name process 1. Correct. So again recompile it. So compilation is success. Let's run this program. What is the output here? Again it is same output only because we called only one method. Correct? No, we didn't call process 2 at all. So it will come, this is a process method, count value will be 0. You called main method, again here also count value will be 0. Then you are returning 10, 10 will be stored here. JVM calls main method, then count value will be 10. There is no difference, right? Now what I'm going to do is I am going to call process 2 inside main method. I am going to call process 2 inside main method. Okay, let's observe the order. First, what will happen? Process 1 method will be called, right? First, process 1 method will be called because of reinitialization, right? So in process 1, what you are trying to do? You are printing. Let's compile it. Parallelly, we will see the output also. Okay, let's run Java file name. Okay, so first process method will be called, count will be 0. Correct? Process method will be called, count will be 0. Correct? Once process method calls, then we are calling main method. Flow will be going into main method. Again, you are getting, this is a main method. What is the count value? It is 0 only, right? Count value is 0. That's why you are getting, this is a main method. Correct? Correct or not? This is a main method. Correct? This is a main method. Huh? So that's why you are getting, this is a main method. Again, value will be 0. Correct? Once main method completes, but inside main method you are having one more statement, process 2. You called main method. Inside main method, what happens? One more statement. Flow will be going into process 2 method. So what output you will be getting? This is a process 2 method. What is the count value? Count value is not at all changed, it is 0 only. That's why you are getting output as this is a process 2 method and count 2. Who called process 2 method here? Process 2 is called by main method. Who called main method? Main method is called from process 1. Who called process 1 method? Process 1 called from top when reinitialization is happening. Correct? So we called process 1. Flow is going inside process 1 method. Inside process 1 we are calling main method. Main method is going. Inside main method we are calling process 2 method. Correct? Process 2 method is called. So we have printed this is a process 2 method and count value we are getting 0. Correct? Once process 2 method completes, it goes back to main method. Main method is completed. Once main method completes, it goes back to process 1 method. Correct? Process 1 method is returning 10. Process 1 method is returning 10. 10 is captured in count variable. Now only count 1 is modified to 10. Correct? Count 1 is modified to 10. Correct? Once reinitialization is happened, now only second step is over. Reinitialization is happened. Now what happens? Count is holding 10. Once reinitialization is happened, what is the that step? JVM calls main method. So flow will be going, JVM calls main method, JVM prints. This is a main method. What is the count value? Count value is 10. Correct. This is a main method. Count value is 10. Correct. This output you are getting. Once these two lines are executed, again inside main method we are calling process 2 method. Again inside main method we are calling process 2 method. So flow will go inside process 2 method. We are printing this is a process 2 method and this is count value is already it is what is the 10? Correct. Count value is 10. So we are getting count value is 10. Correct. Once executed this, count value you are modifying. Count value you are modifying. Listen. Count value you are modifying from 10 to 200. Correct. That one is returned. Again count 2 only you are returning, right? Same value you returned, but you are not using it. If you want, you can print again count here. Okay, again what you can do, you can print count here, but to differentiate I can just print some dash dash here. Okay, again I am just printing count 2. Let's recompile. We are in the same phase. Okay, java c file name.java. So let's run java file name. What happened? So finally process 2 method is called. Correct. Where we are here. Process 2 is printed. Count value is, what was the count value? Count value was 10 before. Correct. Then once it is done, process 2 count value is modified to 200, right? Count value is modified to 200. Again what you are doing, same 200 you are returning, but main method we are not storing anywhere, but count is modified to 200. Again inside main method what we are trying to do, we are trying to print dash 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 and count value. What is the count value now? Count current value is 200.